I got some of the lyrics wrong there, and because this happens when you think you know lyrics but you don't. It's not guilty feeling I've got no rhythm. It's guilty feet have got no rhythm. So Bubba's with us here on halftime on the phone. Bubba, I didn't know all the words, but I knew enough words to make you feel really uncomfortable. Guys, that's the first ever broadcast Bubba and I did together. And I wonder, Bubba, do you remember how you felt when that was more of a soft rap of the lyrics of Careless Whisper than singing it to you, but, man, I could see you didn't really know what to make of that.
Yeah, you know what? It brings back some bad memories, Phil. I was wondering what I got myself into, so I was a little worried. I'm like, who is this guy next to me? But, hey, I tell you what, after missing last season, though, you can sing to me every day if that means we get to watch some Razorback baseball and call the game. So I don't even think I'm not going to complain about it this year.
Good. Okay.
So you can call it a fair poll or a foul poll. You can sing Careless Whisper. I'm going to be a new guy. I'm going to be happy, and I'll just sit there and take it.
Mark it down, guys. He just told me a moment ago.
12:35.
Yeah.
12:35 p.m. Got it. Okay.
Fair polls, fair lines. I'm allowed to do it. Plus, I'll sing a bunch of Barbra Streisand to you throughout the season.
What can we get? What can we guarantee for you two to do opening weekend? Like we're gonna have to do. We got to do something to commemorate this opening weekend.
Well, now here's the thing. Keep in mind, like this is the first time that Bubba and I are not doing opening day together because the team opens season in Arlington at the Rangers ballpark, and Bubba's not traveling for it. So the team will have already played 3 games before we do our first game together. And I wonder, Bubba, you look at who they're playing. And I haven't even done my research into Texas Tech and Texas and TCU, but I honestly can't remember an opening weekend that could be as tough as that, unless you were opening up against an SEC team.
Yeah, I'm telling you, fellas, it's a tough way to start the season, especially with some of the new faces we've got. The kind of the questions around the starting rotation. It's a tough way to open up the season, but I tell you what, we got a lot of talent, so it's going to be a fun weekend. Just watching it and kind of seeing the pieces start to fall together.
You mentioned starting rotation, and it seems to be that's what everybody's coalescing around as to the main. I don't know if concern is the right idea here because there's no doubt there's talent there. I mean, you've got a ton of really talented arms and guys that seem to know how to pitch. The only question is, how does it all shake out? And you can even hear in some of Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs' answers, it's going to take longer than usual for not just bullpen roles to figure themselves out, but the weekend starting roles and the midweek starting roles to work themselves out. I think it'll take 4 to 5 weeks.
No, I think you're right, Phil. And there's a scrimmage game going on today. I believe. Didn't you say Wicklander's starting today?
Yeah, let me see what I had here. I know it's Peyton Paulette is starting for one team, and the other is Zebulon Vermillion.
Oh, okay. I got that wrong. All right. Well,
and I think the other pitchers that we'll see, according to this lineup card that Goody texted, Wicklander, Ryan Costu, and Elijah Trest will pitch as well out of the bullpen, and on the other team behind Vermillion will be Zach Morris, Spain, and Caden Monk. So Wicklander will get out there.
Right. Well, I tell you what, the names you keep hearing are Paulette, Vermillion, Bolden, Lockhart, and Nolan. When it comes to, if they were going to open up this weekend, I think that's where your starters are going to come out of that group. But Wicklander's still right in the mix. A couple of good starts or a few good innings, he could get right back in there. It's just it's a good problem to have, I guess, if you're Hobbs and Van Horn. But man, there's just so many options. But Peyton Paulette's the name I keep hearing. That's just. He's just throwing the crap out of the ball. He's got a great mindset on the mound. He's tough. He goes at hitters. But Vermillion, we've got a chance to see Vermillion a lot, Phil. And to me, he's a closer. I know he's got great stuff, and it'd be good to get him out there and get him a lot of innings. But I just see him as a closer. I don't know why. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out.
Have you seen Jackson Wiggins pitch at all? Because I watched him in one of the scrimmage games recently, and I mean, you want to talk about an effortless delivery and a ball that just explodes out of his arm. And he's big. He's 6'6", 230, 240 big. But he throws effortlessly, man. And, Clay's brought him up. I think a couple of the coaches have brought him up. He could be as good as he wants to be. Maybe even Isaiah Campbell good. Though, obviously, it takes a little time to get to the level that Zay pitched at his last year.
I tell you what, I got to watch him pitch last summer in a showcase event, and you talk about batters being uncomfortable in the box. Right-handed hitters didn't want any part of him, and these are high-end prospects they're playing against, and guys just aren't comfortable against him. And he throws hard. I guess you can call it effectively wild. He does have an occasion. He misses up and in occasionally, about 95 to 97 miles an hour. So, yeah, he makes hitters definitely uncomfortable. But he's a guy that when it's all said and done, you said it, he can be really good. He's going to be special at some point, whether it's this year when he figures it out or, next year. It just at some point, that's a name that Razorback fans are going to really get used to hearing.
I want you to give me an area of strength that you expect from this team that we haven't touched on, and also you can't, because I think this is probably the number one part of this team. Why this team should be good is that they're really good up the middle. Catcher, Opitz, shortstop, Battle, second base, Moore, center field, Franklin. I think that's the top of the list. But aside from that, aside from even the talent we've mentioned on the pitching staff, give me one aspect of this team that you feel you'll be able to count on.
You know what? I think it's just the balance of the lineup, 1 through 9. It reminds me a little bit of the 2018 team, where, there's just any guy in the lineup can hurt you at any time. There's power, there's speed, there's guys with a great approach, unselfish attitudes. And then you've got guys on the bench that are just, they're right there in the mix, and you could throw them out there and not miss a beat. So, it's a combination of that, I think, Phil. There's depth on the team, but it's just, you like to talk about the experience and all that. There's a few new faces that we haven't seen yet, get proved yet. But I tell you what, there's just a lot of depth, and I think it's just a fun, balanced lineup that, once they hit the field, it's going to be fun watching them go out there and go about their business.
I think you're right, and also in comparing to the 2018 team, and even the idea of balanced in the idea of righties, lefties, and switch hitters. You got a lot, you'll have about 3 or 4 lefties in the lineup. You'll have a couple of switch hitters, and it's going to be tough for opposing coaches to mix and match. But you mentioned also the 18 team, and 2 players that really exploded that year, and we couldn't have expected they would have had the kind of seasons they did, were Heston Kjerstad and Casey Martin, 2 freshmen that came on and played better than freshmen usually do. Do you think there's any of the newcomers, doesn't necessarily have to be freshmen, but newcomers that can have that kind of immediate impact this year?
I think there are. I think, when you talk about Heston and Casey, those are 2 guys to where, you planned your bathroom trip or your beer run around their at-bats because you never wanted to miss those 2 when they stepped up to the plate. Heston might hit one to the moon. Casey, there's no telling what he was going to do. Inside the park home run, maybe a bomb in a Hogs. You never wanted to miss their at-bats. But there's guys, I'm telling you, Caden Wallace is really good. I'm a Moneyball guy, Phil, so I look at, and I love the movie. So you don't have to just replace those 2 guys with 2 guys. I think there's a lot of options. You've got guys like Caden Wallace can step in there. You've got guys, Colin Smith. I love him. At some point, I don't know if he's factored into the starting lineup, but he's a guy that at some point is going to be in the lineup, just hitting. He's going to hit. He's just a hitter, kind of a dirtbag type player. But boy, I love the way he gets in the box and competes. You've got Brady Slavens is another guy that's got pop. He reminds me a lot of Heston. So I think when you throw all those guys together, there's several guys. We know Christian's going to have a great year. He's worked extra hard this year. Spent a ton of time in the cage breaking down his swing. I know he's hungry. I got a chance to talk to him last week. He can't wait to get going. So I know I'm not really answering your question with one specific guy, but I think it's just a combination of those guys are going to come together, and it's going to be fun, man. I'm excited.
Well, I know I am too. I think our listeners are as well, just because baseball season got cut short, and the other seasons were able to play. So we do feel like we had something robbed from us. Bubba, we'll have to go in a moment here, but I want to put you on the spot here because your professional playing career began almost exactly 30 years ago. So 30 years ago, you are gearing up to go to Yankee spring training for the first time as a minor leaguer. And I wonder what was going on in your mind. You had completed your 4 years at Arkansas. You signed with the Yanks. You're about to embark in what you hope is going to be a lengthy professional career, which you had. But before that started, what was your mindset going into your first spring training?
scared to death. I'm not going to lie to you. When I remember flying out of Drake Field in Fayetteville and just being, I guess it's a combination of scared, excited, because every kid dreams of playing professional baseball. So, it was a dream come true for me. I always wanted to play for the Razorbacks, and then I wanted to play professional baseball. So it was a dream come true. But, I was scared and just the unknown. I didn't know what to expect. And I told myself from day one, hey, no matter what happens, I don't want to look back and say I didn't give it all I had. There's a phrase I use all the time, leave it on empty. And I said, going in, I'm going to leave it on empty. Success, no success, whatever. I'm going to give it all I've got. And, I just remember those thoughts and just, the excitement. And one thing that's funny, I look back now and you think, okay, what was I getting paid? I was getting paid about $1,000 a month. And everyone down there, when I first landed and got to meet some of the guys that are complaining about how much they're getting paid. And to me, I was like, hey, I'm Trump. I'm getting paid to play baseball. I don't care. I'll play for free. You know what I mean? And so, it's funny how you look back now and it's like, oh, okay, yeah. But, it's funny at the time. I just wanted to play baseball, and getting paid anything at all to me was a bonus.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking back, and I imagine it's been 30 years, man. Must seem like a long time ago. Bub, appreciate your time, man. We got to run.
Long?
I know it has been, and you're an old dude, but you just don't look like it. I don't know how you pull it off. Bubba, we'll see you soon. Hopefully see you at Baum Walker Stadium before the season gets going. Otherwise, we got to have you on again so we can just, listen to Careless Whisper at least one more time.
Please.
That's
Bubba
right. Carpenter joining us
Sounds
here. And he
good,
did say
guys.
I can
Thanks, Bubba.
He did say I can call it the Fair Poll, right?
He did. He said that at 12:35 p.m.
He did tell me that. All right. I feel really good about that now. That's the best thing I've heard all year. Thank you, Bubba. Thank you very much. All right, we got to step aside. We'll come back, wrap up the show. We already gave you our Super Bowl picks. So we do have a Duma of the week or two.
We got some good ones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's running Penn State's Twitter account, but I think that person's going to have to be looking for a new gig. Stay with us.